Folks, Danny with DannyLink's calling back with another video. And what I'm going to talk about today is something that's really amazing. And I woke up at 2:30 in the morning. Me and my wife wakes up at 2:30 in the morning every night. And we started talking about this complex issue. There was a Facebook post about it. And so she then sent me a post that kind of backed up what we were talking about. So I'm going to read this, and I'm probably going to go read the other post to you too and talk about this some. And what I'm talking about is genetics, the human genome, the genetics that comprise all of life on Earth. Everything that we know of has this genetic information. And it's complex. It's more complex than any technology we've been able to come up with, and probably ever will, because we're not the creator. And we just hold some of his image, and so we're able to create to an extent. So what I'm talking about is the human genome and gene technology, genes and genetic material in general, and how they point to a creator. So I'm going to read this. It's from Farmer Girl. A lot of y'all might know and really enjoy her. My wife loves her. After we had this conversation, she sent me this. And I thought, oh, that's perfect. It's not super short, so it'll take me a little while to read it. But it's not that long. All right. Imagine for a moment that you were handed the most advanced instruction manual ever conceived. Not some mildly infuriating IKEA manual where you somehow end up with one extra bolt, rising suspicion, and a coffee table that may collapse under the emotional weight of poor design choices. Not even the most sophisticated software code ever developed by the brightest technological minds humanity has to offer. I'm talking about an information storage system so staggeringly complex, so breathtakingly precise, and so extraordinarily efficient that it can literally build, maintain, repair, and replicate a living, breathing creature from scratch. Eyes capable of processing light, hearts pumping continuously without conscious thought, lungs exchanging oxygen, bones engineered for remarkable strength and flexibility, immune systems identifying and combating microscopic threats, digestive systems, you gotta love technology. Systems somehow converting feed into life-sustaining energy, entire personalities, unique traits, distinctive features, even those dramatic Jersey calf eyelashes that look suspiciously like they were personally designed to humble mascara brands everywhere. And all of this is written using just 4 biochemical letters. That system is DNA. Deoxy ribonucleic acid. If we are being scientifically formal, but in practical terms, DNA is the biological language of life itself. It is the coded instruction manual embedded inside every living cell, carrying more densely packed information than much of humanity's most advanced technological systems. Let that sink in. Inside microscopic cells too small to be seen without specialized equipment, exists a level of organized, functional, and purposeful information storage that far surpasses our own engineering capabilities. Every living thing on Earth, from calves to oak trees to whales to human beings, is built from this astonishing molecular code. And here is where things become deeply fascinating. They're just getting there, right? Oh, okay. DNA is not random chemistry. It is not meaningless molecular chaos. It is information, code, instructions, language. And in every other context humanity understands, coded information always originates from intelligence. Books require authors, software requires programmers, blueprints require designers. Languages require minds. Recipes require creators. Computer code does not spontaneously appear because a tornado hit a Best Buy. And yet, when the conversation shifts to biology, many suddenly expect us to believe that the most advanced information system ever discovered somehow wrote itself entirely through blind, unguided processes. It's just happenstance, y'all. That a code more sophisticated than our best software, complete with storage systems, proofreading mechanisms, replication systems, repair functions, and regularly controls somehow emerged because enough chemicals happened to bump into each other over enough time. And honestly, that requires a level of faith that could rival some of history's most committed religious devotion. Y'all, it is a committed religious devotion. Because DNA does not merely hold information, it actively proofreads itself. It repairs errors. It regulates when genes are turned on and off. It directs cellular machinery with astonishing precision. It orchestrates developmental processes so complex that from a single fertilized cell emerges trillions of specialized cells organized into fully functioning systems. This is not simplistic biology. This is not accidental disorder, somehow stumbling into functionality. This is engineering on a scale so profound that it should leave anyone genuinely studying molecular biology with a sense of awe. Believing that such a system is merely accidental can feel a little like walking into NASA, discovering a fully assembled space shuttle on the launch pad, and confidently concluding, wow, What incredible luck those random metal fragments and electrical components had. They just came together, y'all. Look, there was a tornado, right? And it just blew all this stuff up, and it just created a space shuttle. It was just chaos. Psalm 139:14 says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And honestly, molecular biology makes that verse hit differently, because the deeper science digs, the more breathtaking life becomes. Proteins fold with extraordinary precision. Genes regulate highly specific developmental pathways. Cells communicate through signaling systems more sophisticated than many human organizations. Molecular machines inside cells perform tasks so advanced they resemble microscopic factories. Every new layer of discovery reveals not simplicity, but deeper complexity, greater order, and more astonishing design. How does DNA function as some simplistic... Now, does DNA function as some simplistic laboratory proof that instantly forces every skeptic into belief? Of course not. Human beings interpret evidence through worldviews, and science alone does not encompass the entirety of Christian theology, salvation, prophecy, or the historical person of Jesus Christ. But what molecular biology absolutely does provide is profoundly compelling evidence that life is not easily dismissed as meaningless accident. Because if God truly is creator, then discovering staggering order, encoded information, breathtaking complexity, and elegant design at the very foundation of life is precisely what we would expect. The same God who designed galaxies, gravity, mathematics, ecosystems, and physical laws would be more than capable of embedding extraordinary sophistication into the code of life itself. And perhaps that is one of the most humbling truths of all. You are not random. You are not meaningless. You are not merely the fortunate byproduct of biochemical chaos. You are written, designed, engineered with a level of sophistication beyond anything human minds can replicate. Every strand of DNA, let me read that again, engineered with a level, you were written, designed, engineered with a level of sophistication beyond anything human minds can replicate. Every strand of DNA quietly whispers of order, purpose, information, and astonishing intentionality. So the next time someone claims belief in God is intellectually naive, remember this. Every living cell in your body contains a code more advanced than our greatest software, more efficient than our finest engineering, and more sophisticated than anything blind chaos has ever been known to reproduce. And maybe, just maybe, biological language does not ultimately point to purposeless randomness at all. Maybe it points to an author. That's pretty powerful. The writing's amazing, of course. The emotion and information is astounding in her writing. And I love that things come back to the farm. All right, guys, I'm going to cut that off right there because I've got a whole nother part, but by the time I got it done, it was like 40 minutes. So I like to keep these around 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And so I'm going to cut that off. But here's the point to all of this in the next one. There's not a shred of evidence that anybody that's honest can point to that will show you that all of this happened by happenstance and just randomness. There's nothing that shows that. Anybody that says that, there's an agenda. And the agenda is kill God. If you go to the history of the scientist who created this whole evolution, millions, billions of years and all that, what you're going to find is they were intending to take God out of science. Go back before them. Go back before the 18th century, before the 19th century, and look at all the scientists. They were all faith men, and their purpose was to understand God's creation, to understand how God created, not to claim he didn't. And that shifted. The devil's always in the details. The devil has been at work since the beginning of time. People will say things like, well, there's similarities between this thing that happened and Christianity and this Egyptian faith and Christianity, etc., etc. The devil has nothing else except imitation. And he knows the Bible a whole lot better than you do, and I do. He believes in Jesus because he actually knows he exists, right? So, imitation. So what? So what? God created. There's a mind, thought, planning behind creation. That is all. Carry on, as they say. So, dig into this stuff. Don't just believe what people say. They ain't nobody. I ain't nobody. And just because they have a PhD behind their name or whatever, they ain't nobody either. Just because they're famous and have a microphone, they ain't nobody either. Trust me, I know. Ask me how I know. All right. I'm going to end this one, and then we'll get to the next one. And I'm going to try to get ahead of this a little. I've got some technical things I'm trying to work out, and I'm switching editors. It's being a little aggravating. So, alrighty. I'll see you on the next one at DannyLink's Calling. Remember, keep your powder dry and your blade sharp. And we're living in perilous times, and you need to be prepared. The best thing you can do to prepare is lean on the Lord. Know him. All right. God bless y'all. Bye.